Alright everyone, what is up? This is Spectrum Movies back with a brand new video review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Masterpiece movie series MPM-4 Optimus Prime. As you can see, we got the packaging right here. Got a couple of nice images of the figure right there in both of his modes, like so. The Masterpiece movie series, 10 years, MPM-4 Optimus Prime, Hasbro. The car right up there, sorry about the angle. On the side you've got nice image of him in his robot and truck mode again. And if you open this flap, which I don't have the tape cut on this side, the truck extends onto that piece as well. On the back you got interchangeable mask, removable matrix of leadership, articulated hands, and him in one of his most famous poses, along with him in his truck mode once again. And yeah, you got a profile of his truck right here. Not much else on the bottom, so on the top you got all that good jazz. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool it actually is. And here we have the MPM-4 Optimus Prime open up and out of his packaging, and as you can see, we have him in his Peter War 379 truck mode, looking very beautiful. First things first, let's get over weapon storage in the vehicle mode. As you can see, it sits upon the trailer hitch. The way it pegs in is, just take this little peg right here. Yeah, it's focusing, and then you plug it into the slot right there. Just like that. And by theory, I believe you can plug it into either one of these three holes. Let's try it out here. So, oh no, they're actually not wide enough. Wow. But yeah, let's just get this off to the side and, well, I guess we'll show it off first. So here is one of the energon blades, and they both look identical to each other, which is why I'm only showing one. But as you can see, got a nice silver painting running along the profile of the blade on both sides. Very nice. And for the first time, we have these two connector prongs sticking out of the blade like they do in the actual movie, which is nice. And then it's like this orange transparent urine-y color, believe it or not. Yeah, it does look like some, some glowing energon, though. I mean, and it's definitely sized appropriately with the figure, which we'll see more in robot mode. So there's that, and then here is the, the ion blaster here, which a lot of people get the name of this gun wrong, but I mean, it's not the end of the world, you know. And a lot of people don't like that it's not painted. I'm one of those people who actually don't mind that it's not painted. Being someone who was used to the Revenge of the Fallen mold and how bland that thing was. Moving on to this guy is something that is a privilege within itself, and I'm even grateful to have the gun in the first place. I know it's a masterpiece figure and all, but I do like it, and I do love the way it looks with this gun. And at first I thought it was too small, but the more I look at it, the more appropriately sized it is for the figure. Oh, also a little disclaimer: we are playing some Transformers 4 in the background. If you guys didn't notice already, if you can't hear it, then I can turn it up for the next review or scrap this one altogether. But I'm sure you can probably hear that at least a little bit. Anyway, enough about all that. So let's get on to the actual figure here. And before we take a look at him, I'm going to admit now that mine has the same widespread problem that every copy that has been reviewed has had. Yep, we've got the gapping on this guy. It doesn't really bother me that much though. Like Pia said, like it's a masterpiece level figure, sure, but and it could have been rushed. Like there's nothing we can do about that if it was rushed though. We can only take what we get and do our best to work with it. And if we're not happy with it, then that's ultimately our issue. It's one of our complaints as a consumer. I personally believe, aside from this, there's only one other thing wrong with the vehicle mode, and that is the fact that this is literally a millimeter off of the ground, and the wheels can barely touch the surface. I've noticed that reducing this can be possible by sort of pushing this in a little bit more. It may seem like it's not going in there, but it's actually helped me out quite a bit. And as you can see, the door panel is actually not too terribly misaligned on the sides of my my copy here, which is very, very lucky to have. You know, like I've seen a lot of copies who don't aren't even close to lining up on here, and like on the smokestack sections along with the pipes that go into the leg. But mine actually line up quite well. But he rolls very nicely actually, and like I said, it's a miracle that he rolls because all this is hanging out from the bottom. But you know, it might just be me transforming the figure wrong because I've only seen videos, and I've never really, like, when I got the figure, I didn't rewatch a video as I was going through the transformation. I sort of just like winged it and memorized some of the steps, you know. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, you know, I've got him in this truck mode. Oh yeah, size comparison. I almost forgot. Let's see. Can we get a proper angle here? So this would be sort of an odd angle. Let's see. Let's do this. There we go. Focus on him. Bring in Battle Blades Prime. Almost called him Buster Prime for a second there. Yeah, as you can see, Battle Blades Prime is probably one of the smallest Optimus Prime figures they've ever released. Aside from the Deluxe Optimus Prime, which was done in 2011, and that figure was eh. You know, these are my two favorite Prime figures that I've ever owned. With Dustin obviously being the top dog because he's the Masterpiece Optimus, but you know, that's how these go, right there, from the back as well. So, get him out of the way. Let's get Battle Blade Bumblebee in here. And this scaling is a bit off, in my opinion, but, you know, seeing MPM Bumblebee and seeing how he's like a little bit larger than this, it gives me a really good idea of how big he's going to be compared with MPM Prime once I get him in the mail. So, front view, there you go. Is that about it for vehicle mode? Well, I believe it is, so let's get down to transformation. Alright, so what I usually like to do is I like to kind of wedge this out of the tabs. Oh, yeah, don't pull it that far down, but it's what I usually like to do, and the figure's fine, don't worry. And then if these don't come undone when you yank them out, oh, give me a second. Sorry about that, the dogs are barking and I had to pause the recording to make sure that that didn't interrupt me. But yeah, so just, you know, sort of untab these from what will be the feet right here. And then at this point, since this will all come detached here, like so, pull that up, just set that back there, you know, get that out of the way. And then before anything else, God, I wish I had like lighting right here. I need to get lights. You know, sort of just, this is how you untab these. I've tried to sort of, you know, go in there and just, but you want to pull in, so you want to put your thumb here and pull it out like that. Gently untabbing it from that panel right there, like so. Do the same thing on the other side. Pressure, gently pull, boom, boom, easy. And now you can separate the top from the midsection like so. Hey, the Prime theme is playing nice. Perfectly timed. By grabbing from either side, just like that. Then you want to sort of gently sit this back, like that. Alright, let's flip that down. Push this back. It's on a soft ratchet, so if you hear the snapping, it's natural. These are going to be his arms, obviously. I mean, what else would these be, you know? It's Optimus Prime. Split these apart like so. Bring them out. Then you want to bring the matrix chamber up and above the blue panels. Press it in, filling in the cavity. Just like so. Next thing you want to do is I like to sort of get started on the legs here, yeah. So, we're gonna obviously split them apart, like so. Open the feet panels. Just not being caught on camera here. Press this in. Give me just a moment. Alright, same thing on the other side. Open the feet panels. Tab that in. Then collapse the feet into themselves. Just like so. And unlike the Revenge of the Fallen mold, these will automatically align with themselves since they can't necessarily be adjusted, so they will always snap together, which is very convenient. Now what I like to do is I like to flip these gray pipes in to the toolboxes on either side. Flip these blue panels down. Bring the toolboxes into the leg, filling in the cavity, snapping into place. Now, what you want to do is bring the wheel down, bring the panel up, and do the same thing on the other side. His legs are all done now, for the most part. Give me just another second. I'm going to restart the recording because I can only record 10 minutes at a time. Be right back. Alright, we're back, and since we are done with the legs, let's move on to the upper body. Alright, so this is where it gets all sort of tricky. So we're going to bring this all back down, actually. Let's raise this up. Yeah, that'll be a good idea. Bring out the tripod legs fully extended. And yeah, so I'm going to focus on these bits right here, right? So you want to collapse the smokestacks, and this one's a bit tight on mine, so I have to kind of wiggle it in there, you know? Bring these up on either side, collapse the smokestack, bring it up. Then you want to push these panels in. And then you want to collapse these within the double hinge inside like so. Next thing you want to do is you want to bring this down and in. Down and in. Just like that, right? Now we can bring this all back and just kind of leave it there. And now we're going to split this and then bring it all forward. Okay. Now we're going to bring out the windows forward. Actually, you want to sort of leave them out to the side because I'm going to show you something that a lot of people actually don't know about this figure. So before we continue with anything else, we're going to have to collapse the body together to form the robot, right? So, going to bring him down. You really can't see here, but you're going to... oh, before you do this, bring the legs down, of course. My bad. And then sort of angle them downward, right? Now we can bring all this down. Bring the die-cast portion down, and then accordion all this within itself, like so. Now what we can do, so we can push this all the way back, tab that in, and get the back panels out of the way here, hopefully. And now, we're going to come to the back. Sorry, this is very difficult without the proper setup, but I'm doing my best. And then there are tabs right under here, which you're going to tab into the gray portions and sort of set all this into place. Let me do that off camera real quick and I'll be right back. And when you're done, it should look like that. Now, you want to work on these red panels here, right? But be careful to not set them on his extended chest when you do this. So I'm just going to kind of hold him up right here. Rotate. Oh, not that. Rotate this. Tab. Hole. Right? Wrap this around, tab it into itself. You're going to hear it sort of frictioning into place rather than tabbing. Same thing on this side. Just like so. Just like so. Hopefully. Yep. All done. Now you want to just tab these in. Just like so. Alright. Now we come to the conclusion of the transformation, or mostly the conclusion, since we're going to flip these sort of spikes out here. Come on. It'll work with me. I don't know why it's... There we go. Just like that. And it's going to sort of fill in that little portion right there by shaping itself into place, per se. The same thing on this side. Just like that. Now, you're going to want to sort of tab these in. Oh yeah, Forest Battle theme, let's go. One of my favorites. There we go. And then you're going to sort of want to bring the arm all the way down. Then you're going to want to bring this window all the way back. And now this gives you clearance to collapse this into itself in the double hinge. Just like that. Easy peasy. And you can bring this forward. Bring this up. And you want to sort of push it all the way in until you hear it snap. Don't just leave it there thinking it's tabbed in, because it's not. Trust me. Watched many reviews on this guy, and I've played with this guy for only a day, but trust me, I know what I'm doing. Same thing on this side. Collapse this within itself. Push the lights back on the chest, right? Then, you know, sort of position that into place. Push the window forward. Tab this into itself. And we're almost done, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get him standing up here, because what's a Prime going to do without standing him up for himself, you know? Sort of bring the wheels down, on the lower side anyway. And we're going to look at his upper body right here. Anyway, guys, sorry, my dogs are sort of a-holes, so you want to untab this from the arm. Let's focus on that. Come on. Alright, we'll just get into the light here. Could sort of double hinge it up. Bring the air canister up onto the top of the shoulder here. Tab it into place. Same thing on this side. Untab. Double hinge. Bring up. Right? Come on, tab in. There we go. Now, sort of bring these panels out. Rotate this up. Push it down. Same on this side. Rotate this up. Push it down. We're almost done. One final step. And here we go. Just double hinge these up, right? Ah, come on, Optimus. Work with me here, buddy. There we go. Perfect. Alright, we're almost done. One more thing, I promise. Then we're finished. You want to untab these. Bend this in. Click it back once. Bend in. Click back once. And now his knee pads won't ever get in the way of collapsing on themselves. And yeah. Here we have Masterpiece Optimus Prime in his robot mode. And wow, you know, very majestic, very prime looking, might I add. Let's get a little 360 here. That's not tabbed in right there. But yeah, there's the backpack. Very slim, and there's basically nothing back there. So, yeah, you know. Let's start with the bad. The bad is lack of articulation. I'm just kidding. I don't really. I guess the worst thing is like the half-painted parts, but I don't really care about that. I know it's a masterpiece figure and all, but like, God, I love this thing so much. You know, this has to be the best figure I've ever owned out of anything, really. I cannot wait to see what they've done to Bumblebee and Barricade. I'm very excited for those figures. Balancing is very good on this guy. As you can see, he's in, you know, sort of like a knee resting pose right there. Looking very nice, looking very much like he would in the movies. I guess the worst thing is like how bulky the chest section is compared to everything else, but like, I think it's bad, but then I don't. Because like at a distance it looks really good, and then like sometimes it looks really good up close as well. But I mean, I cannot hate on that at all, because how can you get something with this low level of detail to transform and have every proportion be perfectly aligned with each other? You can't. And I really do commend Hasbro and Takara Tomy, even though the panels on the hood / windshield don't align perfectly in truck mode. I can excuse that because A, that's partially my fault, and B, this is a mass-produced figure, which is a masterpiece level, which is a movie figure at that. So you have to think about all the different parts that they, you know, all the different molds that they scrapped, and you know, like, it's just, you can't really blame them for making mistakes, because sure, Bumblebee and Barricade align perfectly, but this is Optimus Prime, and they had 10,000 moving parts in the films. You know, so I'm always going to back them up on this, whether, you know, people like it or not, because they did their best with this figure, and I truly believe that. Aside from the lacking of paint here and there, but I mean, like I said, I do not care. Anyway, I'm going to have to split this into another video section. I'm going to like put what I have right, like my footage right now, all mashed together and like edited and stuff, and then I'm gonna sort of delete it out of my gallery, and then I'm gonna come back. So give me a moment to do that. Alright guys, we're back and we're at a much better angle this time. I sort of placed my lamp like a bit more towards me and you know, put prime out more towards the edge of the surface that I'm working on, so it looks a lot better. And yeah, I didn't really go over like paint apps and vehicle mode, but you know, ton of silver, you know, nothing is actually unpainted aside from the red and blue plastic. You know, he is a gorgeous figure. You know, gorgeous vehicle mode, gorgeous robot mode. And I know people have complained about the inaccuracies containing or correlating with such and such and such right here as well. I think it gives him more character, if I'm being honest here. I think it looks a little bit better that way. Granted, I wish there were more flames on the arms. You know, it is definitely passable when the figure looks this good. You know, I even like the way the flames look on the back, if I'm being honest. I really do. I just think it makes him look much better than the CG model. That's just my opinion, though. I think now that I look at it, they could have made the head a little bit bigger, but again, that's not a problem. You know, like, you really can't blame them for, you know, getting some things wrong here and there. They definitely tried, and I think they succeeded for the most part, you know. Let's go over his articulation before we forget. Head can look all the way up, which is great. People complain a lot about the gap in there, but if you look at the movies, he has a gap in his neck. It's just as accurate to the film, and that looks natural to me. I'm sorry, but it does. And he can go side to side, of course. 360 on the arms. They are ratcheted. Very nice. They go out. They can actually go up as high as you want them to. Got a bicep swivel. Very deep elbow bend. I'd say that's about 120 degrees if I want to be exact here, be scientific. Wrist swivel. Wrists hinge in that far, which is nice. He has some finger articulation as well, which isn't too bad. You know, his 3 fingers are melded together, and then this 1 finger is individual and has 2 points of articulation. And then the thumb has this weird mid-joint point, which is specifically used to get this out of the way so he can hold the gun, which is fine by me. I heard he has an ab crunch as well, but I haven't really messed with that too much because I don't care about the ab crunch. But he has a waist swivel, which actually goes quite far on my copy. He does have pivoting hips that can pivot up and down. Legs can go up about that far. They can go back about that far, which is not bad. He has a thigh swivel, double jointed knees. Feet move down, up, and he has ankle pivot on the inner pivot as well. Size comparison up, so we have the new MPM Optimus Prime compared to the Battle Blades Prime and the Battle Blade Bumblebee. And as you can see, with these two being horribly out of scale, this guy scales a lot better with this guy, in my personal opinion. Let's get a close-up shot of that right there for you. And yeah. Don't sue me, but I nearly forgot all about all the gimmicks and stuff that he does. Which, again, those are reasons why, excuse me, this is my favorite figure out of my entire collection. I know I've said that about a lot of figures that I own, but none of them have lived up to the expectations that this one does. I'm sorry if you hear yelling in the background. That's out of my control, but I will try to edit this as much as I can to where most of the portions are without outside noise coming in. But yeah, so let's get a close in on the face sculpt so you can see this here. Focus in. So what you want to do, before we do this, the common mistake that a lot of people make is they will push his face all the way into the head. And it's your toy to display it how you wish, but the more movie accurate look would be to raise this up a little bit and to make sure that the eyelashes are above these vents on his face, like so. Anyway, you want to pull this up, rotate this piece around like that, flip this back down, and you have him with his battle mask, which looks amazing. I mean, both head sculpts look amazing, and I can honestly display them either or. I kind of prefer the face since I haven't had a prime with the face properly. So you know, that's one of the features. Another one is, of course, his infamous Ion Blaster. So what you want to do for this is you want to open his fingers, flip up the thumb, like so, and yeah, he's ready to do a little handshake or what have you. So then you want to take this, right? And there's a tab right here, which will tab into that hole on his hand right there. Just like that. No. He's usually easier than, there we go. Just got to get it past that thumb. Then you want to wrap the fingers around her just like so. And yeah, that looks amazing. I mean, I love that so much. And then, of course, who can forget about the Energon blades, right? Bring in his wrist. And this is what I like to do. This is my preferred method. Rotate around. Bring out the fingers. And yeah, he's waiting for his blade now. Make sure he's balanced. Here we go. Oop. Almost fell over. Come on, Optimus, stand up for me. Well, no, you're drunk, but god dang, buddy. Alright. Just want to use this tab to go into that hole right there. Just like that. And then I sort of push his wrist and hand up a little bit to conceal it better. And yeah, you can do this on both hands, by the way. I don't really wish to display it because I have other things to go over with this figure. So, he has a lot of diecast in him. So let's go over that. These pieces right here are diecast. The ab section is diecast. He has diecast within his shins. And his feet, along with this joint right here, are all diecast, aside from the toe pieces and the truck grill, of course. But yeah. Alright, we are down to the final section of the review, and I know this review's been my longest yet, but this is the most involved figure I've ever owned. Final thoughts, comments, and concerns. Concerns. We've been over this. You know, it has a couple of flaws here and there, but mostly I get past those and I can accept the figure for what it is and the effort that they put into it. Final thoughts. Get this figure. Seriously, if you have the ROTF mold, then this guy is sort of passable, but if you want one that doesn't have snap-out blades and that annoying forearm bend, that's always going to be there when you have the blades like retracted into the arm, I'd get this guy. Also, if you want one with a gun, I'd get this guy. I bought him for $90 off of eBay, and I almost forgot about this, but actually the guy was super nice, and he sent the figure, of course, and it arrived in 2 days. That's amazing. So thank you. I forgot your username, but I really appreciate you and, you know, you getting this figure to me as fast as possible, and I'm very happy with them. I really am. So thank you again. Once I found out his username, I'll link him in the description below. And I recommend buying from him because he has some great prices. Again, $90 is a discounted price for a figure that ranges from $100 to $150 in retail. So yeah, I love the way everything engineered. It's fun to transform him. I know it's a very unpopular opinion, but transforming him from robot to vehicle is actually pretty fun for me, at least now. Final rating, this guy gets a solid 9.3 out of 10 for sure. Anyway guys, that's been my review on the MPM-4 Optimus Prime. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one, which will be MPM Bumblebee. Peace!